Why do the stories about Mithra, which happened way before Jesus, sound so similar? I'm answering your questions, like ever heard Christians say baptized in the blood, or talk about shepherds being present at Jesus' birth, or celebrate Christmas on December 25th? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. Let's talk about being baptized in the blood. Trigger warning, this does talk about animal sacrifice, so take care of yourself. There's this ritual called taurobolium, and what would happen is the initiate to Mithraism would stand underneath a grate, and a bull would be slaughtered over the top of them, and the blood of that would come and drip down and run all over them, and they would say that this was being baptized in the blood. Now, this is attested in ancient sources. However, scholars are in pretty broad agreement that this was not the common practice in this religion, but it did happen. Now, Mithra was not born of a virgin like in the Jesus story. He came out of a rock. But the stories of his birth, some of the stories involve shepherds being present as attendants. There's a relief that actually shows that right here. You can see the little sheep with the shepherd over there on the side. There's also a communal meal in Mithraism, like communion in Christianity, but there are a whole lot of communal meals in lots of different religions, and when you compare these two, they're just not similar. So eventually, it wasn't part of Mithraism, but there was this Roman festival to celebrate the birth of Mithra. It turned into this week-long celebration, and Mithra was said to be born on, wait for it, December 25th. Now, the choosing of the date for Jesus' birth around December 25th had a lot of factors at play in it, but one of them was this very popular festival for the birth of a god that was going on at the time that they were choosing the date for Jesus' birth. Not the earliest people suggesting a potential date. It was like April and May, but the one that was chosen was December the 25th. So the thing you might hear online is that Christianity just stole some of the ideas from Mithraism and incorporated it into the Jesus story and that movement in some sort of religious plagiarism. But the dating is the really key to answering that. The dating of when Christmas was decided and the creation of this Roman festival, that all happened around the 270s. And so, though it happened at the same time, Christianity was much more well established by that point. Now, the idea of Mithra, that god lasted for a long time. But the form of Mithraism, this Roman form that could bear any similarities to Christianity, actually doesn't really start till the late 1st century. That is after the life of Jesus, but when Christianity is really forming. So you can't say that Christianity just sort of borrowed things from Mithraism, but what you can say is that they are coming into their own in the same cultural world with the same interests, the same artistic symbols that are popular. And so you see the similarities because when they are developing, there are similarities, but bigger similarities that are forming all kinds of different things at that time. And this is important when you're forming spiritual beliefs and practices around Christianity, because a lot of people want to suggest that God was sort of reaching God's hand down through the writers of the New Testament and writing something completely new and different, when that's not at all what was happening. What was happening is what is happening in lots of different places. There are people that are forming a religious movement around something that was very important, Jesus, and it is happening in that culture at that time. And so the writers are doing the things that writers do in those kinds of moments. They're not some sort of divine zombie just mindlessly writing down words that God is putting on their fingertips. They are writing as writers write. And that is important because Christianity, like all religions, is formed by the cultural moment into which it is born.